Um, Hello. Hi. What's going on? Ooh, I was too low. Yeah, so today we're doing glaives because, we gotta finish. Um, After glaives, we gotta do trace rifles. But we're gonna focus on glaives today. So, glaives, they are very good at my role number 3. Uh-oh, wrong thing. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Roll number 3. And roll number 4. Both utility and add clear. They are ass at boss damage and burst damage. They're hopefully going to be making some changes soon, which might make some adjustments to this, making it a little better. But as of now, you're only really bringing a glove for their utility, mainly, and their ability to add clear, which is honestly kind of iffy. Uh, Glaives are just in a tough spot right now. Hopefully, the buffs that they do will come through and help us out. Um, they're not completely useless though. The utility is really strong. I figure I should talk about it here. The way glaives work is that you get this cool pokey stick, and then if you shoot and hit something, you will see some energy pop up under your crosshair. You see the little green bar there? Now that energy that pops up on the crosshair is used as a shield, which you will see in the background footage. Cool shield thing or whatever. Um, In PvE, I think it's like a 97% damage. You're basically invincible. Okay, you're as close to invincible as possible if you have any kind of heals going on, any kind of heals. Um, what are the biggest issues with this? They do no damage. Okay, they do almost no damage at all. It is really bad, at least as far as DPS is concerned. You can one, two, maybe three tap some of those red bars, but that's basically it. They're kind of clunky to use. If you don't know what you're doing, it can be a daunting task. But the more you use them, the better they get. It's a bit odd. Their bullet is a projectile, which is also upsetting and annoying. But yeah, here we go. You can increase the projectile speed by increasing the range of the weapon, which should help a ton. Um, what else? Yeah, so anything in the second column, yeah, you just want range. Anything that's going to give you range is probably number one. Number two, which I didn't put on here, would be anything that gives you swap speed, which I believe is just one perk in the entire game. I think it's swap mag, something to that effect. Third column. Because you do get to do the stabby stabby with this gun. Oh yeah, I didn't explain all of it. So you do the shooty shoots, and the shooty shoots, whenever you land damage, you get a bit of energy that goes underneath your crosshair. That is how long you can use your shield and have it, actually do shield things. The other function is to just press your basic melee and it will deal damage. Not all of those things are connected together. For example, if you have something that gives you extra damage, unless it specifies melee damage, it does not give damage to the stabby stab, it gives damage to the projectile, which I think is kind of stupid, but yeah, whatever, okay? It's Bungie's game, they do what they want. So, um, this is another big reason why Grave Robber is really good. Grave Robber is good because you're going to be in there probably trying to stab stuff anyway. Might as well get a free reload off of that. And reload speeds on all of these glaives are terrible. Um, Overflow for the same reason. If you don't have to reload, then it's a good time. Threat detector helps with reload. That's basically the only reason, and it's pretty consistent. You're going to be close to people anyway. Now, this other perk is a glaive exclusive perk. They have a couple of these. Replenishing Aegis. Basically, if you have your shield energy up and you're blocking, if you take damage, you will put another bullet back in your glaive, which just sounds weird to say, but yeah, you put another bullet in your glaive. There is a slight cooldown. I think it's about a 1 second cooldown, so you're not gonna like refill your entire thing like immediately. But typically, you only really need one to keep your shield going, so that's not bad. Alright, so in the fourth column, close to melee. This is the best perk if you want to do the stabby stabs with the stabby stab gun thing, right? Basically, if you get a kill with your projectile, then you have 10? Yeah, you have 10 seconds of 30% extra melee damage on your stabby stab, which is really cool. And you keep it as long as you deal damage at all with the glaive. So even a projectile will give you more time. As long as you deal damage, it will be good. What? You have Swashbuckler, Adrenaline Junkie. These basically do the same thing in different ways, and they give you the same type of buff. Both of them are pretty good. Um, if for some reason you're on this video and you don't know what Adrenaline Junkie and Swashbuckler do, Swashbuckler, after you get a melee kill, you increase your damage on the glaive by 33%, and you get the exact same thing, and it works the exact same way on Adrenaline Junkie. The only difference is you have to proc it using your grenade. If you just get one kill, you can stack it all the way up from 1 to 5, getting you closer to that 33% damage increase. Again, that applies for both of them. Unstoppable Force. This is another one of those glaive exclusive perks. Basically, if you take damage with your shield up and then you shoot your projectile, the projectile will get an increased amount of damage for like 20% increased damage for like a short period of time, I believe. So you take damage and then you shoot, bam, unstoppable force. That's probably what you're going to be using your glaive for anyway, because you're going to be blocking and then you're going to be shooting. Otherwise, you might as well bring another gun, so that's also pretty good. What else? There are three types of frames. To be completely honest with you, the only frame you should even care about is the adepts, and the other two frames only have one apiece anyway. So I'm going to go over these things, but just note that you really just want the adepts anyway, and if you really like a glaive, I don't think it matters what its frame is because there's not a big enough difference between them at current. I would imagine Bungie will attempt to differentiate these at some point, but right now it's just a slight fire rate increase with a slight damage decrease, and there's basically it. Or the gun is completely worse just based off the fact that they nerf shield duration or something to that effect for the damage of the projectile. Boo, boo Bungie. Boo Bungie. Bad idea. Anyways, adaptives. They're middle of the pack. Yep, that's it. Nothing else. They're good because they're middle of the pack. It's the first time you heard me say that one. Lightweight. Faster fire rate. Yeah, in theory, I assume that that would lead to more DPS. Nope, doesn't really matter. Less shield duration at base. Also, stupid. Why? Aggressive frames. They do more damage per projectile, and they do have more shield duration at base, but they have much less rate of fire. There's also some weird thing where apparently if you get a headshot with a aggressive frame, then you will get less damage because it's like a negative headshot multiplier on it, which doesn't really make any sense because you can't get a headshot with a uh, splash damage projectile in the first place. So I don't know. It just seems like a bug to me if you want to be completely honest with you. Now, this is going to be one of my shortest videos because I am basically done. Glaives suck. And the only reason you need to get glaives is to do bounties with glaives and to get some cool perks so that you can be prepared for when they do decide to buff them because they're really that bad. There's never a reason to use glaives unless for some reason you want to block everything in existence. That's basically it. There's even a hunter exclusive um, exotic to make these things, pop a little bit more, and they still suck. So, yeah, that's it. Later.